Hey guys, what's up? It looks like in the next Predator movie, Predator Badlands, the Predator is gonna be the protagonist. Having a movie where the Predator is gonna be the main character is something that I never thought it could ever be possible. I still don't believe this. When I saw this news, I saw the post on AVP Galaxy, and usually, that's usually mean that the source is reliable, but I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Okay, how are they actually doing this? They're actually doing what people want? Like, I think what's next? They're gonna bring Dutch back because that's like the next thing on the list for fans. Like we either want to have the Predator as the main character, something that was kind of like almost done like in AVPR because it followed Wolf Predator instead of like together with the human characters. But a lot of the times for us, in my opinion, it's not just mine, but from a lot of people that I talk to, the main characters from the Predator movies they just keep getting worse. Like you had Narrow, and before there was the other guy that I don't even remember the name from the Predator. I think that Arnold, Harrigan, and Royce were overall good, but the other ones, nah. It just keeps getting worse for each movie. And I would say, I'm not saying that Harrigan and Royce are bad, but then they're not as good as Dutch. But then again, like it's hard to compete with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a character that was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's just like in another level. So I would say, like in regards to main characters, the Predator franchise kind of peaked like right in the first movie, and then also because of the stuff that was added into the Dutch lore with Predator hunting grounds and the whole story with Dutch continuing to try to fight back against the Predators over the next decades and becoming like almost like a super soldier. It's just like so next level that there is not a single character they can just make main character for a Predator. Not just a movie, but anything. It can be like a novel, a game, whatever, that it can compete with Dutch. Like Dutch is like just too much of a top tier main character against the Predators, you know. And because of that, I just feel like, since the ultimate characters are always like so, lately have just not up to the part, why not just focus on the Predator? That was something that a lot of fans asked, I asked for. I thought it would be really cool to try to make that work. And I get it that making the monster, like the creature, like alien creature, the main character can be hard, let's say for the main audience. It is a challenge for sure, because the main audience wants to identify with a human character. Usually, this is something that is more like a fan service, you know. The fans want the Predator to be the main character. It might not be something that the main audience that goes to see a movie at the theater might be interested in watching, but still, like, the fact that they're actually saying that this could be the case, because I'm just reading the report, the post on AVP Galaxy. The creature is front and center leading the charge. Speaking to Empire in Ardo season 2 issue, he's still badass, but there's something there that touches emotion issue. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but they're trying to focus on the Predator as a character. I assume there's gonna be, I would say, probably one, at least. He's referring to the Predator as a male, so no female Predators for those that have been hoping for that. Not gonna be the case from the looks of it. So he's talking specifically about one Predator, and the people have already been like thinking that, oh, if the Predator is gonna be the main character, it might even team up with the human characters, the human main characters in this movie, which is gonna be played by Elle Fanning, which apparently is gonna play like two characters. She's gonna play like two twin sisters. Two characters are gonna be played by her. So if the Predator is gonna be kind of like the good guy in this situation, that it might come into like a cooperation with the human characters to fight something else. That's what a lot of people are thinking. That either this Predator is gonna fight another Predator that is worse than him, which I think that would be cool, or like another alien creature, something else, or just maybe gonna be like human bad characters. That could also be a thing. Who knows? Because the fact that they decided to set this movie in an alien planet in the future sets up for a lot of good possibility. I'm honest, I was not expecting much from this movie. When I heard that they're gonna say, oh, let's put Elle Fanning as the main character in a Predator movie, I'm like, what the fuck, really? Like, you're gonna put a little Barbie in a movie like this as the main character? Like, you watch the Predator, not the Predator, not the 2018 movie, but you watch the first Predator movie, you see Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then you see Elle Fanning. You'll see the gap between like those two types of actors, you know? Just saying. And I was like, no, that's fucking silly. Like, I already had to endure Naru doing their little Mary Sue Pocahontas shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna go through this shit again in this movie. But then they decide to set this into the future in an alien planet, which is something that I always wanted to see for the Predator franchise. I think a lot of people focus too much on, oh, let's put the Predator in like a ancient setting. Let's put in like an ancient Japan to fight a samurai or whatever. Like, but I think that there's more potential in the future. I think that would be cooler for me than going back to the past. I think that the Predator franchise should go to the future instead, and that's what they're doing with this one. So that's actually exactly what I wanted for a setting for a Predator movie. And first thing, and then the second thing, now they're saying that they're gonna focus on the Predator, and it says that the idea, he says, came from the desire find another essential piece of cinema that does what Prey did spiritually, pushing the franchise boundaries, letting us root for a hero we rarely get to root for, but in a different way. I'm really curious to see exactly what does he mean by this, because he says that there's something that touches you emotionally. When I think about a Predator, like something that a Predator has a character could touch me emotionally, I think immediately about Scarface from Predator Conquer Jungle, the game, because it's a game where the main character is a Predator, and he's probably the most, like, I would say, like the only Predator in a movie that has more like a personality and like character development. There are other games which we follow the Predator that we played has, but they don't really have that much of a personality. Not like Scarface. Scarface, like, you can see what he's thinking, and also there's a human narrator that kind of helps us understand what he's feeling. Like it's an alien creature that kills people, whatever. As we saw in the movies, he's the bad guy, he's the monster, but we can sympathize because the human narrator in the game allows us to understand how he's feeling, what he's been through, and we see like the bad things happen to him and he has to overcome it. It's like almost like an anime character arc where he goes like to a redemption arc, he loses everything, now he needs to rise up again and regain his honor. It is like, you can see that, like, you can identify with that, because a lot of us can go through bad things in life and we need to go back up to be able to rise again and try to just keep going in life, just keep moving forward. And that's what Scarface did. So like, we can relate to that, we can relate to pain, we can relate to failing and just losing everything and having to start from zero. That's what Scarface had to do in the game. So maybe could be something related to that, a Predator going through something hard in his life. Who knows? But I'm definitely curious. Creating a character you connect with, but are also super intimidated by, has been challenging. So I think that it is possible for you to like I said, to connect with a Predator as a character. Because I just used the example with Scarface, because I played that game as a kid and I could identify because I can relate to that kind of stuff. But this is definitely like really interesting. And let's say what else? And that transformed into this big idea of rooting for the Predator. Finally, the ugly motherfucker days has come. Like, really? Like, and so that also gives us the possibility of the Predator winning at the end. But I don't think that means that the Predator is gonna kill the human characters, like the main human characters in this movie. It's just like the movie is gonna be like shared. Like, we're gonna have like some moments where we're following the Predator and then we're following the human characters, and they're both like at one point connect with each other, and they might not fight each other. Maybe they might fight each other at first, but at one point they might team up against a bigger threat. That's kind of like the idea that I'm going with this. Or we might see like let's say something in the way that the story is being developed might us actually root for the Predator instead of the human characters. This is definitely interesting, and it just gives us the possibility of the Predator surviving at the end, which is something everybody complained. And that's something that I think there was a big wasted potential in the Predators 2010 movie. You have a Predator there, the good Predator. That was like, you have like the good and the bad Predators. You have like two different factions, and you have a Predator that was a copy and paste of pretty much like Jungle Hunter from the first movie. The mandibles were different. I have very high standards in regards to Predator mandibles. I like them to actually close properly. But anyway, so we have actually the chance of a good excuse to have a good human and Predator team up, and it could actually work. So in my opinion, in Predators, I think that Roy should have teamed up with the crucified Predator, the capture, whatever how people call it, and they should have killed Mr. Black together, or maybe with even Isabel, crucified Predator, and Royce. Those three could, I mean, in the movie was Royce and Isabel kind of, but I think that they should have given the crucified Predator a bigger part and let him survive at the end of the Predators. And that would have been given us a more time of like Predator versus Predator action, which is something that has a lot of potential in the franchise. And also could have given us finally a Predator that survived at the end, and it could set up for a different sequel with Royce, Isabel, and the crucified Predator going back to Earth together. I don't know, like going to space. I don't know, maybe. I think I for sure I would have preferred a Predator sequel. than what we got in the Predator. But this is really interesting, guys. It seems like that there is hope for the Predator franchise in the movies, which was something that I kind of gave it up for a while. I was not caring much about the movies. And well, now I sure have a reason to try to buy a ticket to go to the theaters to watch this now.